extremely talented, but the thought that he'd be able to replicate last season, I just don't see it.
I have Andrew Hawkins and Harry Douglas up early this morning, so a couple of guys would like to have caught passes from Josh Allen during their careers. Look, the Buffalo Bills are the only team that is currently favored to win all of their games this year. Are Josh Allen and the Bills your favorite in the AFC to finally make it to the Super Bowl? He's dumbfounded. Oh, the clock hears me. Either that or we just superimpose that photo. Harry.
His sweater, just the brain short
studio, we're working out some of the kinks here. Harry, same question for you. Is Buffalo your favorite in the AFC?
No, they're not. The favorite is still going to be the Kansas City Chiefs until someone proves otherwise. But I do like the chances for Buffalo. You talk about Josh Allen, can he win MVP again, Greeny? He did a great job of, number one, taking care of the football, which is very, very important, trusting his teammates, and then being Superman when it was warranted. Now, Himbo gave me a stat. There were 13 games, including the playoffs last year, where Buffalo were turnover-free. That is the most since 1933 when that stat began being taken.
The Bills got everything done last year except get over the top. We'll see if they're able to do it this year. Let's get to the next one. Kmart, let's go to Cleveland. You know that team so well. Would you be shocked if Shedeur Sanders was their starting quarterback by Halloween?
Greeny, I would not be shocked, and here's why. The Browns have a daunting schedule to start. I expect, honestly, for them to make a QB change by their Week 9 bye. So I would think Joe Flacco might start and then return the page to someone else. Think about it. Over the last 2 seasons, the Browns have started 9 different quarterbacks. I think injuries in that division could be an issue, and it may pave the way for Shedeur to start.
All right, so let's try Hawk again. You're a former Cleveland Brown. Hawk, what is your sense of Shedeur Sanders getting a chance to be that starting quarterback this year?
Greeny, I'm getting back into the swing of things, man. I've had a long off season, so apologies for the audio delays. We're all working the kinks out here at OTAs and minicamp. Shedeur Sanders has a real chance to be the starter. And the reason being, there isn't anything going on with the Browns offseason as it pertains to quarterback that is super sexy. You know what you get in Joe Flacco. You hope that Kenny Pickett grabs the reins. I don't think Kenny Pickett has done that thus far. So it comes down to Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur's not going to wow you when you see him throw it or his athletic ability. When the pads get on and you watch him go through his process, he looks like a vet compared to what you typically see out of a rookie. So I suspect that as many camps go on and once you get into training camp, you're going to start to see real questions of, is Shedeur Sanders the best option at quarterback for the Cleveland Browns?
I completely agree. I've been saying it for a while. You just saw the schedule to start the season. It's very tough. Last one, Kmart, stay in the AFC North. Would you be shocked if Aaron Rodgers leads the Steelers back to the playoffs?
Greeny, I would not be shocked. And let me tell you right now, Aaron Rodgers better not go to Pittsburgh and mess up Mike Tomlin's streak of non-losing seasons. If Justin Fields and Russell Wilson can get you to the playoffs, that's the bare minimum I'm expecting from the future Hall of Famer. Now, the question of whether the Steelers can win a playoff game remains to be seen, but I think they will make the playoffs.
It's been almost a decade since they have. Mike Tannenbaum was here yesterday. He had a less than promising outlook on the impact he thinks Rodgers will make in Pittsburgh. Listen.
I'll make a bold prediction, Greeny.
Here.
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be irrelevant by Thanksgiving.
Irrelevant?
Irrelevant.
By Thanksgiving?
Yeah. A non-playoff team, a 42-year-old quarterback who's a legend that's going off into the sunset.
So that surprised a lot of people here. Hawk, do you think that the Pittsburgh Steelers will be out of it? And we want into the conversation. We went a little deeper into the conversation. He wasn't suggesting that Aaron Rodgers himself is irrelevant. He was suggesting he does not think the Steelers are a contender of any sort this year and will not be playing meaningful games into December. What do you think, Hawk?
I believe it is virtually impossible for the Steelers and Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, that Mike T, not Mike Tannenbaum, to be irrelevant by the time Thanksgiving comes, for a bunch of reasons. Besides the fact that they have a favorable front end of the schedule, besides the fact they've upgraded their roster at almost every unit on both sides of the ball, the big thing is Mike Tomlin is always in it in Thanksgiving, no matter who is at quarterback. He has a 47-37 record without Big Ben, with names like Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph, Doug Hodges, Dennis Dixon, Byron Leftwich. The list goes on and on and on. That's what Mike Tomlin is good at, keeping his team competitive no matter who's at the quarterback position.
Harry?
Yeah, this is one of the craziest things I think I've ever heard Mike Tannenbaum say. When you look at for the last 5 years, the Pittsburgh Steelers have been relevant amongst Thanksgiving. So I just think it's insane. And also, here's where a lot of people I think is misconstrued when it comes to the AFC North. They see Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens and they say, oh man, they're just going to dominate that division. Or they see Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals and think because those two quarterbacks are elite, they're going to dominate the division. What they don't understand is that the Pittsburgh Steelers went 1-1 versus the Browns, the Ravens, and also the Bengals last year. Yeah. Greeny, in 2023, they went 5-1 in the division. So you can pretty much count on them basically splitting with those teams in the AFC North. And that's what people have to understand. They have a favorable schedule early on. They can start 4-1 or 5-0. And you're going to tell me they're not going to be able to win at least 3 games in their own division? So that's another 3 wins. All you need to do is win like 3 or 4 more and you're good to go. So I don't like the statement by Mike Tannenbaum. I do believe the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers will be relevant by Thanksgiving.
Kmart, you know that division so well. I think Baltimore's going to be really good. Yes. I think we can pencil that in right now. The Bengals, their defense was terrible last year, and they're all mad now. They got rookies and veterans ripping the organization. Yeah. I don't think the division is all that formidable. I think the Steelers are going to be right there.
No, last year, I remember going into last season saying I wouldn't be shocked if the Steelers won the division. That's just because of how much time I spend around the AFC North. And to Harry's point, those battles between those teams, the rivalries, the Steelers do well in their division. I think looking at this situation, I think Aaron Rodgers, you're not asking him to be a coach, a teacher, all of that. Just go in there healthier, play football. I think he has missed some time. I don't love that, but I don't think it's too much time where they're completely thrown off offense.
I'm with you. You just sort of touched on the point that I think is critical here. The New York Jets asked him to be everything. The Steelers are just asking him to be a quarterback. And he may not be able to be the best one in the league as he once was anymore, but I think he's better than what they've had recently. I think the Steelers are going to be very good.
Kind of at that age where I prefer glamping, though. Yeah. The Aaron Rodgers age is what I'd call it. The 41-year-old on the field for day 2 of Steelers minicamp. His top receiver, also new to the Steel City, DK Metcalf, on what Rodgers is bringing to the new Pittsburgh offense.
I mean, how quickly he released the ball and me getting off the line of scrimmage fast, I think is one thing that stands out first, but also his playmaking ability after a play breaks down or hit, or him to, contort his arm a different way just to get the ball out. I think he's unique, and I think it's going to help not only me, but a lot of receivers and tight ends in the offense.
All right, Rodgers married to the game there in Steeltown, and how about Justin Fields, new quarterback now for the Jets? Settling in on day 2 of camp. Lots to do and figure out as he settles in. One of his priorities, though, is certainly focused on the team and how to be one of the big leaders they need.
It's been good for sure. Kind of had a feeling when I got here, guys were looking for, a leader to step up on offense. So, I was glad to, receive that role, and of course, been, pushing the guys each and every day to be our best and play up to our standard.
Down in Duval. Number 2 overall.